Now, Easter plans have been sent into chaos as Queensland endures another snap lockdown. The state was expecting a massive influx of visitors for Easter and the school holidays, a well-needed boost to the tourism sector, but operators are now facing hundreds of holiday cancellations. Businesses fear they will be dealt a double blow as JobKeeper ends and lockdown ruins the opportunity to rebuild their businesses. Joining me now is Chief Executive of Queensland Tourism Industry Council, Daniel Gschwind. Hello, Daniel. I think I mispronounced your name earlier. Apologise for that. Now, would you agree that the tourism... Thank you. Would you agree that tourism operators have been dealt a double blow, and do you fear that some won't come back from this?
It certainly comes at the worst possible time. Easter was supposed to deliver a great amount of relief and a boost to the tourism industry after 12 months of really, really difficult circumstances. JobKeeper, as you say, has come to an end, and Easter was supposed to give us that extra boost that we so desperately need. And now much of that hope has been dashed for Brisbane, obviously. But unfortunately, it will impact also other parts of the state, with the other state premiers and chief ministers of territories making it very difficult for their residents to return from a possible trip to Queensland. So we are seriously worried, and it certainly puts the spotlight back on both state and federal governments in terms of how will they support us under these difficult circumstances.
Well, what kind of economic impact is this lockdown going to have on Queensland's economy? And is there any talk now about a JobKeeper type package that's funded by the state government to keep the industry afloat?
Well, I think all options have to be on the table. Let's not forget, I mean, these difficulties, yes, there are a health crisis, but they're clearly also impacted by state and federal government regulation and policy decisions. International borders remain shut and will remain shut for some time to come. And domestic travel is disrupted by all the regulations that are being put in place by state and territory governments. So it stands to reason that both levels of government have a responsibility to support an industry that is so vital for regional economies, for regional jobs, and for recovery that will be partly based on tourism. And we need the businesses in place and the staff and skills in place to deliver that recovery. So an investment now from state and federal governments is a good investment with the benefits later coming along for everyone.
Have you got any indication of how many businesses or employees won't come back after this, that this is going to be just the final blow? They won't be able to survive after this period?
There's certainly a fear that some businesses will not come back. There was such a stress to get this far, 12 months into this crisis, and some, it may just be a bridge too far for them now. Certainly jobs will be lost. Rita, I don't know exactly if and how many businesses will actually close, but there will certainly be massive job losses as a result of the ongoing crisis and this latest drama now. That will not help.
And what do you say to the person who's considering booking a holiday to Queensland but is worried about restrictions, border closures, having to go into isolation if they're wanting to return home? What do you say to holiday makers who are saying it's not worth the risk to book a holiday?
Well, I'd like to urge them to stick with it, and if at all possible, and they have to unfortunately inform themselves from the updates that they get from their state and territory governments. But if it's at all possible, please do come. We desperately need you. The Gold Coast, the Sunshine Coast, the Whitsundays, Cairns, they're all accessible destinations. It's possible to go there. It's possible to return to your home state with the exception of WA. So please do come and visit. Make sure you support the Australian economy, the Australian jobs that are dependent on your visit, and we are ready to welcome you.
Thank you so much for your time today, Daniel.
Thank you, Rita.